Hey guys, T2 out here. Welcome back to the Time Preparedness channel. Today we're going to be going over a problem that I see with people's bug out plans and bug out locations. So if you ask a prepper, what would be the ideal bug out location? They will tell you something along the lines of this. You got a house, you got maybe a body of water, whether it's a creek, a lake, a pond, it's in the middle of nowhere. There's not another house around for miles. You got 5, 10, 20 acres. You can do whatever you need to do in the middle of nowhere and no one else can find you. And there is a problem with that ideology. So for this video, I am going to be referencing American Blackout. It was a television movie done by National Geographic. The idea of the movie is that there is a nationwide blackout. It goes on for 7 to 10 days, I believe. It's been a while since I watched the movie. And it follows a couple of different families. One of them is Manhattan, New Yorkers, husband-wife combo. The other is like a suburban family of 4, another suburban family of 3 plus a pregnant wife. And yes, I understand that it is a movie. I understand we can't take it for fact. I get that. But until they make a better prepping movie, it's what I have to go off of. So for me to bug out, it's going to have to be a life or death situation. You shut the power off nationwide for 2 days, 3 days, yeah, it can quickly become a dangerous situation. If your life or your family's life is in danger, bug out. Am I going to bug out from my home because of a power outage? No. But would I bug out because there's a fire in my backyard? Yeah. A lot of people's mindset is the first sign of danger, you need to leave. And in some cases, that is 100% true. But in most cases that we think about, you're better off staying put. So the husband-wife combo live in Manhattan. They live in an apartment complex. They're on the 48th floor. And so when the power goes out, there's no elevator power. So they're having to walk up and down steps all day. Their key card doesn't work. So they're having to leave their door unlocked. The refrigerator doesn't work. So all of their food is going bad. They have to quickly eat it. No power means no water. No water means you're thirsting to death. Now in that situation, should they leave the city? Absolutely. Your location is no longer safe because you don't have water, you don't have food. It's a great time to leave. Bug out. But have a place to bug out too. More than likely, you work with someone who does not live in the same town as you do. And if you can get them into prepping, into being prepared, then they can be your bug out location. You can leave your Manhattan apartment, travel 20, 30 miles, and go to their house. And that's probably the smart thing to do. But instead, they stay put, people break into the apartments, they go out to investigate what it is, and they end up dying. Then there's the 2 family units. Both of them live in, we'll say, suburbia. The 1 family unit is a husband-wife, a 7-year-old, 8-year-old daughter, and then the woman's pregnant with a baby brother, I believe. The other family unit is a husband-wife, a daughter, her boyfriend, and then the little, I want to say 11, 12-year-old boy. So the first group of people, they stay put. They live in their cul-de-sac. They know their neighbors. They throw a block party. They're cooking off all the meat that's going to go bad anyway. They're, just living. And their story doesn't focus more on survival. It's more of, oh no, they're having a baby during the massive blackout. So it doesn't really show much of their survival story. Their house does burn down. They have to leave. The other group bugs out. They have a different house. They have an underground bunker. They have years and years worth of food supplies. They have water supplies. They have a generator. They have security cameras. They have everything they need to live at this location. The problem with their bug out plan was not the fact that they left their house to go to their bug out location. It was the fact that they did not include their neighbors. Eventually, their neighbors come asking them for food. Well, the father of this family unit, no, you should have been a prepper like me. You weren't. That's on you. I hope your family dies. Not the best idea. So this neighboring unit breaks into their house, steals all of their canned foods. The family unit ends up in their underground bunker. The neighbors have their guns. They take over their compound. The movie ends with the dad being held hostage as all the power is coming back on. I know it's a made-for-TV movie. We can take it with a grain of salt. Let's say that was real world. These people probably spent $500,000 to build this secondary location. They bought land, they bought a generator, they built an underground bunker, they bought tons of food. They spent all their money on securing this one location. You and your family are not going to be able to defend land. You can defend a house, don't get me wrong, but you can't defend land. During the movie, the Bug Out family takes turns doing nighttime patrol. As you're walking around the compound, these people are watching you. They hop the fence, they go in, they break in the house, they wait for you to walk by again, then they hop the fence and they leave. You don't know anything about it. Unless you just have a huge family, you're not going to be able to defend your property. Again, you can probably defend your house, that's easy. But the property itself, no. Now, Suburbia over here, they did fine. It never showed what they did. But realistically, you should know your neighbors. When an event occurs, lend a helping hand. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go show your neighbors everything that you have when it comes to prepping. If you offer an olive branch, they're going to be more willing to help you out. Because it's a real world event, it's your neighbors that are going to help close your roads. It's your neighbors that can keep the neighborhood safe. You can start saying, all right, we're going to set up a security plan. We're going to have patrols, or we're going to keep all of our families safe. Now, by doing that, you've built up a community. And if it is a long-term goal, that community has more manpower. You can offer better security protection. That community has more people. You can offer more work by those people than you can this family of 5. Another reason that hiding in the hills is a bad idea is because somebody's already found it. If you don't live there 24/7, somebody's already walked the property. Somebody's already been there. And you can have the best security system in the world, but if you don't live there, you're not going to stop them. The Doomsday Castle, y'all remember that? It got broken into. Now, this is a castle built in the middle of nowhere. 2 teenagers that were walking in the woods saw this giant structure in the middle of nowhere and said, let's go investigate. Well, no one's home. Let's break into it. Because they're teenagers. They do dumb shit. So they broke into it, found guns, found ammo, found all this cool survival prepping gear. Then the local news reported it. They said Doomsday Castle at this location, at this county, in this state was broken into. On the first report, they gave the exact address of this castle. People who wanted to know where it was, they already took a screenshot of it. They've already got it printed off and mapped out and how to get there. If someone gets to your land before you do, your property rights don't matter. You can pull out the deed and say, hey, this is my name, but welcome, there's a new king of the castle. Yes, having a bug out location 500 miles away is great, till you have to get to it. Having this location that's in the middle of nowhere, it's wonderful, till someone breaks into it. So you're safer at home. That prepper family unit would have been so much better if they had spent that $500,000 on their own house. The dad of the family unit kind of knew what he was doing. I mean, he had food stored up, he had water stored up. What he should have done was stayed put, stayed at home, and said, all right, this is what we need to do. We need to establish security. We need to figure out what resources everyone has and how to help each other. And they could have worked together as a community versus a family of 5 that got overran by 10 people with guns. Again, I understand it's a movie, I get it, but that movie could easily have been real life. How do we make better bug out plans? Number 1, don't plan on bugging out unless you absolutely have to. If it's a life and death situation, if the floodwaters are rising or the fire's burning in your backyard, yeah, dip out. Number 2, build rapport with your neighbors now before you have to build it at gunpoint. Some of them have secrets, and you might not know it, but one of your neighbors might be a prepper. One of your neighbors is into hunting. That means he's got a bunch of guns. One of your neighbors hates the government. That means he also has a bunch of firearms. You hang out with them enough, you go out fishing with them, you go out drinking with them, they get enough alcohol in them, they're going to start spilling the beans. Talk to your coworkers. Somebody has to live outside of town. Leave town quick, get there, and that way you can establish your community with their people. 2 heads are better than 1. Always remember that. 2 mouths are more to feed. But this whole lone wolf / lone family unit ain't gonna happen. Now, one reason that this whole I need to bug out and I need to disappear goes on is because everyone thinks it's a Mad Max type of world. But the truth is, in American history, we've had a massive SHTF event before. It's called the Great Depression. It lasted for 10 plus years. During the Great Depression, people were setting up community gardens. People took care of one another. Now, understand, I'm not some bleeding heart liberal who believes that human nature is good, but during the Great Depression, it wasn't a Mad Max type of world. Yes, bad people were still out there, but for the most part, communities took care of one another. You had communities who helped out in the fields growing apples, growing fruits, growing vegetables. You had a lot of people who had skills that would trade for whatever food you had. 10 years was a long time, but there's still a lot of things that we can learn that can help us out. So guys, hopefully you take this information and you learn something from it. Bugging out should not be your first idea, should not be your first resort. Get to know your neighbors. See what resources they have to help you and what resources you would have to help them. Build rapport and build friendships with your neighbors. Again, I understand I took a lot of information from a movie. I get it, I know. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video. And if you find that movie, it's called American Blackout. It used to be here on YouTube. If you find that movie, let me know. Drop it down in the comment section, and that way I can put it in the description. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. T2 out.